Now, as inoculation drives kick in across the country, India is slowly reeling from the COVID-19 pandemic, and one of the big indicators for the same are new product launches. So the one that we are going to talk about today is a new entrant that has arrived in the supercar segment in India with 610 horses in its bank. Yes, you guessed it right, it's the Lamborghini Huracan EVO rear-wheel drive Spyder. Now, the car has been launched in India at an ex-showroom of rupees 3.54 crore, which if you ask me is quite competitive for its caliber. So instead of figuring out a shorter way to take its name, we are going to take a look at the car itself. So let's get into it. So to start with the looks of the car, there are not many visual changes. In comparison to the four-wheel drive versions, this one gets different elements in the bumper area that is a little bit more aggressive with more pronounced use of black splitters. Now we are here to talk about an open-top car, which brings us to the main event. A fabric roof that is neatly tucked at the back can be brought up with the press of a button. The process takes about 17 seconds and can be done at speeds of up to 50 km per hour. Now, the car that you see here sports the Lamborghini's blue Solaris paint option, which brings us to the extent of customization options on the car. Your wishes can tweak elements on the car, including the paint, the stripes, the rims, the color of the brake calipers, and a bunch of other things on the interiors as well. This brings us to the inside of the car, and this is perhaps where we have to report the least, considering all the major elements have been retained from the old model. You get a big steering wheel that comes with ANIMA drive mode control to choose between the 4 driving modes. There is a digital instrument cluster and a new touchscreen infotainment system that comes with Apple CarPlay and Amazon Alexa voice recognition. Now, remember when we said the 3.54 crore rupees was reasonable? Let me explain why. You see, Lamborghini has been quite clever in specifying the standard equipment on the car. A lot of the features that are standard on the 4-wheel drive versions come as optional over here, which evidently cuts down the base amount significantly. A few of the elements that are standard on its 4-wheel drive sibling but is optional here include adaptive dampers, carbon ceramic brakes, parking sensors, and even the front nose lift function, although we would recommend to get the last one for anyone who's planning to pry it on the Indian roads. Now, coming to the heart of the matter, the engine. This Lamborghini is powered by a naturally aspirated 5.2-litre V10 that produces 610 horsepower and 560 Newton meters of torque. The car can get up to 100 km per hour from standstill in just 3.5 seconds. For the 200 km per hour mark, it takes about 9.6 seconds. Now, as compared to the 4-wheel drive version, the 0 to 100 time is about 0.4 seconds slower, which you and me both can agree is acceptable. The car weighs 1,509 kilograms, which is not a lot, but this is a whole 120 kilograms heavier than its coupe sibling. Now, we have come a long way from the time when we used to think that 610 horses just for the rear wheels is a bit of an overkill. Now, while the all-wheel drive version gets the Lamborghini LDVI to maintain its traction, this one gets a far simpler system called the Performance Traction Control, or the PTC. Now, while this might be a simpler system, Lamborghini claims that it works better than the outgoing version, providing 20% more traction out of corners and, you're gonna like this, 30% more driftability, and that we like. So, in conclusion, it is quite safe to say that this is one of the most brutal Lamborghinis out there. Additionally, the absence of the front drive shafts also means that you don't have to worry about the weight that comes along with it. So all in all, this is definitely a car you don't want to mess with.